The world has entered a new arena of power, one that no longer smells of smoke or gunpowder, but hums with the quiet vibration of data, innovation, and human intent. The modern conflict between great nations is no longer fought with armies. It is played through algorithms, markets, and the minds of billions. What we are witnessing between the United States and China is not a confrontation of destruction, but an evolution of dominance, a contest of creation, adaptation, and influence. The ground of power has shifted from soil to cyberspace, from machines to meaning, from factories to the flow of ideas. Every economy is a reflection of a nation's psychology. Every nation's rise begins with imagination, and every decline begins with fear. The game between these two giants is not about who can build more, but who can think better. One side aims to shape the future through the speed of innovation, the other through the depth of endurance. Both are right, both are incomplete. Those who adapt slower fade quietly into history. This is not destruction. This is natural selection in digital form. Every company, every entrepreneur, every dreamer alive today is standing in the same invisible tournament, a game where the rules rewrite themselves every morning. In this contest, the ones who thrive don't fight for certainty, they fight for awareness. The real empire today is not territory, it's attention. Whoever earns attention earns influence. Whoever earns influence earns destiny. Look closer. When two great systems move against each other, what they are really struggling for is not land or wealth, it's certainty. One system seeks power through control, the other through chaos. One trusts structure, the other trusts freedom. Both are right in their own rhythm. Both must evolve beyond it. Because the world itself refuses to be controlled, it only rewards those who can flow with its constant reinvention. And that same rhythm exists inside every individual life. You want safety, yet you crave adventure. You want stability, yet you hunger for change. You are both the architect and the rebel within your own economy. When your world begins to shake, when your old systems start to fail, that is not the end. That is your internal transformation calling for a new strategy. You can defend your past or design your future. You can hide behind protectionism, fear, excuses, blame, or you can expand into curiosity, courage, and creation. The United States rose because it dared to imagine industries that didn't exist. China rose because it endured through centuries of transformation. Two models of mastery, both built on resilience, both defined by reinvention. The real insight is this. Greatness is not born from dominance, but from pressure. Pressure creates innovation. Pressure creates identity. Pressure creates progress. When you feel the heat of pressure in your own life, when your plans collapse, when your vision is unclear, that is the same crucible where innovation is born. Don't escape it. Tension is not a trap, it is a teacher. Nations grow under tension. People evolve through discomfort. When you feel friction, you are growing faster than you think. This global competition is not a race of resources, it's a race of realization. Each side learns from the other's discipline and creativity. The strongest do not react, they anticipate. The ones who win are those who see the board, not just the pieces. Strategy is not about moving fast, it's about moving with purpose. And the same rule applies to you. You can't compete in a future economy with an outdated belief system. You can't live in tomorrow using the language of yesterday. Every time you compare instead of create, you shrink your inner market. Every time you hesitate because of fear, your personal currency devalues. You are being traded in the market of mindset. Every thought either appreciates or depreciates your future. Think about the pace of change around you. Artificial intelligence, digital currency, virtual trade, the speed of information, all of it is acceleration without pause. This global rivalry mirrors the human brain itself. Constant computation, constant computation, constant computation, constant adaptation. Most people drown in that speed because they chase it instead of guiding it. But the masters, whether nations or individuals, they don't drown, they surf. They learn the rhythm of disruption. They understand that in chaos lies opportunity. You must learn to surf your own economy. Study the waves of change. Don't run from uncertainty, ride it. Don't follow trends, understand them. Don't react to the market, become the market. Because whoever creates movement creates power. Whoever shapes momentum writes history. This contest is more than economics, it is energy. It is a question of who can convert potential into progress faster. One nation builds the structures of tomorrow. The other builds the imagination to fill them. One believes in discipline. The other believes in disruption. Both are correct, yet both must learn from each other. Because structure without vision becomes prison, and vision without structure becomes chaos. The balance between the two is mastery. The ability to create order out of imagination and imagination out of order. The same balance is required in your own evolution. You need the discipline to stay focused and the curiosity to stay inspired. When your discipline dies, your dreams vanish. When your curiosity fades, your energy collapses. Every innovation in the world is born when stability meets uncertainty. That's the same balance you must live with, the tension between who you are and who you can be. In this quiet global rivalry, there's also illusion. The illusion of control. No one controls the future. The strongest do not control everything. They simply adapt to anything. The same truth applies to you. You can't predict every challenge, but you can prepare your mind to handle every storm. Technology and innovation are not weapons. They are tools of awareness. The more conscious a system becomes, the more powerful it grows. That's why true leadership is not about domination. It's about clarity. It's about asking the questions that others are afraid to ask. How can we evolve together? How can we innovate without losing humanity? How can we expand without exploitation? These are not political questions. They are existential ones. The same questions echo inside you. Are you creating from fear or from purpose? Are you protecting your comfort or exploring your potential? Power today begins internally, before it ever becomes external. You cannot influence the world until you first influence yourself. When a nation's currency loses value, its confidence declines. When your self-worth weakens, your decisions deteriorate. When an economy inflates its power artificially, it collapses under illusion. When you inflate your ego instead of your effort, you collapse under your own expectation. Everything that happens in global markets happens within your inner psychology. Everything that happens in global markets happens within your inner psychology. Energy follows attention. In nations, in people, in everything. Focus on lack and you contract. Focus on creation and you expand. Perspective is the new power. The moment you shift your focus, you shift your energy. Shift your energy, you shift your entire reality. This competition between superpowers is not a sprint, it's a marathon of endurance. The true question is not who wins in a decade, but who still grows in a century. The same test faces every human being. Can you keep evolving without losing your essence? Can you stay true while transforming? Growth is not comfort, it's conflict turned conscious. Nations grow when challenged. People evolve when necessity replaces complacency. When everything feels uncertain, that's when potential gets activated. So understand this. Stagnation is decay in disguise. Whether for nations or individuals, growth is no longer optional. It's the cost of survival. The moment you stop learning, you start dissolving. The moment you stop adapting, you start fading. The global arena rewards motion. The economy of the mind rewards curiosity. Keep asking what's next, not because you're afraid, but because you're alive. The greatest strength of the United States lies in reinvention. The greatest strength of China lies in endurance. But both face their hidden test. One must protect humility. The other must unleash imagination. And you must master both. You must learn the patience of strategy and the speed of creativity. You can't build without discipline, and you can't lead without vision. You need both. The order that creates consistency and the fire that fuels possibility. That's your personal superpower. Harmony between direction and drive. When great powers compete, the world accelerates. When your fears and dreams compete, your life expands. Don't silence the conflict, refine it. Conflict is not chaos. It is contrast that clarifies who you are. The goal is not to remove pressure, but to transform it into performance. Mastery is the ability to turn tension into transformation. When you wake up each morning, ask yourself, am I reacting to life or am I responding with leadership? Am I following fear or am I creating focus? Nations rise and fall based on these principles, and so do individuals. The contest of superpowers is not about destruction, it's about awakening. It is the awakening of human potential on a planetary scale. Every move reshapes the blueprint of civilization. Every choice echoes through the centuries. And so it does in your life. Every decision you make, every risk you take, every mindset you adopt, you are designing your destiny. You may not lead a nation, but you lead your mind. You may not shape global economies, but you shape your personal economy. And when you master that, when you gain control of your state, your focus, your direction, you align yourself with the same force that drives progress itself, the will to grow. So see the global contest not as a threat, but as a mirror. Let it remind you that every challenge is a chance to evolve. Let it teach you that power is not in domination, but in transformation. Just as nations fight for influence, your old self and your potential self are constantly negotiating. That is the true arena of the future, not in borders or battlefields, but within human consciousness. And when you master that inner contest, when you become the strategist of your own evolution, no external power, no global shift, no economic collapse can ever take that away. Because the real victory has never been about defeating others, it has always been about conquering the limits within yourself.